Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, y'all. Yo, it's Alexis.
It's Bree.
And
Hannah.
And welcome to A Girl's Guide to Chaos.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, y'all. Yo, it's Alexis.
It's Bree. And Hannah.
And welcome to this week's episode of A Girl's Guide to Chaos. So this week, we wanted to talk about the beauty industry. Hannah came up with this great topic because it's something that as women, we can all relate to. And just because it's so as prevalent as it is, we're like, let's talk about this because there are do's, there are don'ts, there are misconceptions, there are lies, there are truths.
Lies!
There's a lot of things, actually, because it's the beauty industry and it is a world market. So, Hannah, because you came up with this week's topic, why don't you start?
Topic? Yeah. Start us off. Okay. The beauty industry. It just... I fucking hate it.
Keep going. Y'all wanted to eat while we do this, so...
I don't know why you guys
I'm here
are
listening. I'm like actively waiting.
Oh, no.
Anyways, the beauty industry, that whole topic is just so... Oh my fucking god! Stop! I can't work under these conditions. This was your idea.
Beauty industry, go. What?
It's such a vague... Never mind.
No.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask, like, what exactly of beauty industry do you want to talk about? Like skincare or like
Or just the whole
images
thing.
or everything? Or
Okay, I guess personally for me, just the makeup artistry aspect of it. From
okay.
someone who, is trying to get into that field and everything. I don't know, it's just so give and take sometimes. Like, there will be jobs out there where it's like, yeah, we need a makeup artist, but like, sometimes those makeup artist jobs aren't makeup artist jobs. You know what I mean?
In one manner, what like
It's so weird. I was looking on a job website and it said, okay, makeup artist job, but then I looked at the description and it didn't
Wasn't.
say anything about makeup or artists at all. And I was like, what is this industry? It's so weird. It's so give and take. It's so picky sometimes.
The industry in and of itself, just because I consider the beauty industry a part of the entertainment industry as a whole. Because if you think about it, I mean, it's technically like a subdivision of it. So honestly, the way that I look at it as the makeup industry and the entertainment industry are same in a lot of ways, where it's like there's so much give and take because you have to sacrifice so much and work a lot for free and work for like really low paying jobs, work under conditions that you don't want to be working with just because you're trying to get your foot in the door. And it's really frustrating because the beauty industry is no different, especially because you'd never know like who you could be working on. And I mean any good contract is going to be one that discloses everything that you need to know. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist, but I have worked in the beauty industry for over a year and a half now, I'd say, including our previous job and then the one, because her and I, we've said it before, we were coworkers at a makeup store.
And we're coworkers again.
Yeah.
At a different job.
Yeah. Where we still sell skincare and stuff like that. But the thing is like, I don't know, there's one thing that I've noticed is that there's just so many inconsistencies.
Yes.
That it pisses me off.
It's
in the beauty industry.
It's interesting to see too, because like one brand A can like preach so hard on one thing, but brand B and brand Z will be completely 180 from it. And it's like they're like, this is gospel, like Bible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's another thing because it's just like you even have like some different like dermatologists and estheticians saying the same thing, not to compare, someone with years of medical experience and having to go to med school to an esthetician, but it's just like, it's different types of things. It's just like, it's hearing so many different things and you're like, what do I believe? Like, for example, we all have solid skincare regimens. If you know anything about a skincare regimen, it is like, it's your Bible. You have to do what works for you because what works for you is not going to work for somebody else. Hannah and I, Alexis and I, we have different skin types. What works for my skin is not going to work for what works for their skin. And so, for example, a good skincare regimen, you're going to have, like, you have your cleanser suited to your skin type. You can choose to have a toner or not, and then you have your water-based oils or serums. You have your oil-based serums, and then you have any of your acids, and then you have your
There's just
moisturizers.
so many different things, but at the same time, it's like, what do you use for your skin? Like, what's the best for your skin? And I feel like a brand can tell you all the hoopla that they want. I love that word. Hoopla! And it's until you try it out yourself that you truly know. Because as someone who has super oily skin, I didn't fucking know about gel moisturizers until I picked one up, you know?
No, and you know what kills me is the fact that so many people, especially going into these stores, they don't know the difference. They don't know the difference, because it wasn't until I started working at like a makeup store that I actually realized how to take care of my hair and what to actually use for my skin type. Because even people that I used to work with, they would recommend me the completely wrong product. And I'm like, where is your thing going for? But in terms of what I was trying to say before, it was like, there are things that work for you and what don't. But there is a way to properly do a skincare routine. And when I hear something that is so against what I've learned, or like where it's just like, no, that's not correct. Like, your oil should never come after your moisturizer. You know what I mean? It's just, but in having someone say that, I'm like, but that's not how it works, because your skin needs to soak up the oil. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, the beauty industry is literally based on women's insecurities as a whole. That is like, don't get me wrong, it is a creative form. It is a beautiful form, the way people express themselves through makeup and all of this amazing thing. But, you know, they're selling, she always steals my drink every episode. They're selling things like they're telling all these older women that they have to look, 25 when,
oh my God, I hate
that. Same thing with like plastic surgery and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong, but it's just like seeing people that are so made up, and it's like, do what you want to do to make yourself feel good. But it's just like, there's nothing wrong with aging. There's nothing wrong with aging. It's just take care of your skin, and you can help slow down that process.
You know what's so funny that I saw recently? It was this random TikTok of this older woman, like spewing her insecurities through hateful words towards the younger generation, where she's like, oh, like, I do my eyeliner like this, but, the younger generation will, like, give you shit for it, all stuff, whatever. And I'm like, just because you think you're ugly doesn't mean that we hate you. You know what I mean? And it's like, stop. Do your eyeliner however you want. What?
No,
do your eyeliner however you want. Like, and then someone had, like, stitched it or something, and she was so cool about it. She was like, because the woman would be like, oh, like, you're gonna give me hate for doing my eyeliner like this, and the girl who stitched it was like, no, like, you're good, like, being so nice about it. And I'm like, I fucking love you, because that's how you respond to that shit. But at the same time, like, speaking of like older generation versus younger generation, back in the 1900s, like 1900, like that far, in English, okay, shit was different in every aspect of the world.
The products were different too.
Yeah.
Like, like they didn't have the foundation the same way, so maybe they applied it differently. That's why
trends existed even back then.
Yep. I feel like that's why also technique and the way of you applying like basic foundation or even a fucking cream is so different now, because there's different ways of applying things.
I also follow this one TikToker who I love, who like experiments on how like ancient Egyptian women would like make their eyeshadow with like blue gems and stuff, and crush it up with like animal fat or some shit. And it's like, we don't do that nowadays. Everything is so different. Like, it's gonna be different, but at the same time, everybody's own opinions on how they do it is gonna skew other people on how they do it. It depends on who you learn it from.
It's also I feel like there are right ways to do makeup, and so there are right techniques.
100%,
there are right techniques, but there are 1,000 different ways to get to the right answer. There is no one true equation that's going to, get you the right, like, I mean, like I said, it all depends, but the entire thing also about the beauty industry is, like, when people judge you, when people do anything like this, it's so opinion-based, just like the acting industry.
I was gonna mention that right now.
You can literally be rejected for, like, the fact that your hair isn't the right length. Sorry, it's just not what we want. You're just an inch too short, like modeling industry. Sorry. It's all of these industries are so cohesive in the fact that it's just like, if you're not exactly what they're looking for, you aren't enough, and that's not something. And there have been leaps and bounds in the beauty industry and in other industries in particular that have been trying to make it to where it's like, okay, we're actually trying to make it to where mental health, you know, we're not trying to be based on insecurities, but you see all these people that are like advertising all these things. Influencers are guilty for it, you know, in particular.
Well, then I pose you this question then. So
Are we playing devil's advocate? What's
Yes.
happening? Okay.
So when you say, like, you know, with makeup brands and like mental health, all that stuff, whatever, do you mean like makeup products that aren't like fully glamorized, like natural makeup, or like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, in terms of, there have been a lot of movements where a lot of brands are like, no, like, it's okay to be you. Like, for example, Rare Beauty is their entire thing, where it's just like, you're embracing yourself. You know, Selena has made so many, like a good, I forget what percentage of it is, but I think it's like maybe like 10% of the entire company, or maybe more than that, is donated to mental health awareness and mental health causes and support groups. Where I'm saying is just like, you know, there are things that are basically made to the point where it's just like, it's okay to be yourself. You are rare, you are beautiful. And you know, because that's just the first brand to come to my mind. Also, I love Selena and what she does and her, you know, her beauty brand, and I think it's just amazing product. But also like the line behind it, you know, there isn't a history of you have to look like this, or, you know, kind of like how Victoria's Secret, the models had to look one way in order to even be cast, and it was like a cutthroat industry. You know, I feel like makeup in the way is the same thing, where it's just like there are brands that are like, you know, it's okay to be beautiful, it's okay to be you. You don't have to cover up all these imperfections to get to that point. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of A Cosmetics. I don't know their motive or their like mission statement, but I've seen like pictures of like different like levels of like coverage, and like they have, I don't know if they have like a certain line, or it's like they have a product that's easier for acne prone skin. And I started seeing more companies do that, because it's like, instead of covering it up, let me help you either like, because that was one thing for me. I had a lot of pigmentation and acne and I was very insecure about, so I would look for lines that were like a BB cream that like still gave me like one shade pigmentation, but not cake on products on my fucking acne. Like,
and to add on to that, you see so many brands now that are just being so much more inclusive with their shade ranges, which is like so beautiful to see, because
I've only heard of a couple brands doing that.
Well, it's slow, like any beauty model, like any of the industries revolving around a physical depictor. It's slow moving.
Yeah.
But there are brands that are slowly, like, I know Fenty has a really good shade range. I think Il Makiage, I'm pretty sure Rare does too. I think Lancome. No, I don't remember if Lancome does.
Ma'am.
No,
I thought Lancome did. No, I think someone was calling them out for like not having probably. Yeah.
No, there's a lot. There are makeup brands that are doing the best and doing.
Name me just a random makeup brand and I'll tell you.
MAC.
Not that one.
No. I hate their.
She's the one that knows this. Let's go.
Urban Decay.
No.
No, I'm sorry. No, let me tell you something.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say something. Urban, I think your products are fine, but those foundations oxidize like a motherfucker. You will be orange. I don't care what skin shade you are. They oxidize so bad.
Yeah, no. Name me one more.
Charlotte Tilbury. No.
Not in inclusiveness. Oh,
No.
They're really orange. I actually have one of the Charlotte Tilbury ones, and I think I'm wearing it right now. So. But I heard something about them broadening their spectrum.
That's good.
So that's why
I like Charlotte Tilbury for the most part. I also know it's an English brand, so it's
those English people.
But no. You know, go.
No.
Oh no. What I was gonna say. There's another.
Dior? No.
Fine.
Bobbi Brown.
Ooh. No. I stared at those foundations. I'm like, who is red? It's, a dark...
You in the sun?
No! That's not what I meant. Like, dark red. And I'm like, I understand that's the undertone, but not their actual skin color. Why is it so blue or red? Like, why isn't, like... It's hard to pick my own, let alone have to sort through an array of colors that are just red and blue, sometimes green. Like,
So what shade are you? I feel like for me, once
Ghost.
White. Snow.
Porcelain.
Ivory.
Alabaster. Ivory. I actually am ivory. I am. Fuck.
I don't.
No,
I know you are. That's why it's funny.
I believe you.
No, but no, what I was gonna say on the topic of oxidization, because of what the beauty industry does, one thing that like seriously pisses me off more than anything is when these brands, and especially when I had to learn these brands, when they were like, oh my god, yeah, no, they do so good for your skin, like they mesh really well, they don't oxidize at all, and then it is the most oxidizing type of like foundation or like tinted moisturizer I've ever seen.
Question: oxidizing meaning like
It'll turn it so
like
the
it's, like,
color
more,
in the
like,
bottle. The color in the bottle is not going to be the same the minute it touches oxygen. So the minute it touches your skin, it'll turn.
Okay,
into
I've had those so many times. I'm like, bro, am I like not shaking it right? Like,
yeah. No, yeah.
Damn.
No.
Yeah.
But okay, so in terms of the beauty industry, what do you think is like the biggest myth in the beauty industry that you're like, I'm gonna put a stop to this right now?
Liner versus felt tip, same difficulty level.
Oh, you're thinking about it like that.
Okay.
Brands will say that this felt tip pen is so easy to use until the fucking point of the felt tip pen is like a crooked dick. Like, no, it is not easier than liquid. And the fact that people like I don't want to name brands. I don't want to like call out brands, but some drugstore brands will be like, hey, this felt tip pen, so fucking easy. You buy it, it's like, first of all, it gets dry in 5 seconds. There's like no product in it.
I'm always like licking my hand and like dabbing like.
You shouldn't have to do that.
I know, but like I'm running late. And this is all I got. Like this is all I have right now.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I mean, what approach were you thinking?
For example, typically, you can be as young as, I think, you can start retinol in your early 20s. You don't have to wait until you've already had skin, like, you don't have to wait until you're already mature and aging to start retinoids.
You have to do it before you get wrinkly.
Yeah, it's a preventative. Yeah, it's a preventative measure. Go on.
Well, I have a question. As someone who's allergic to retinol, what other things can I put on
Plastic
my skin?
surgery. That sucks for you, lady. I was gonna... No. Seriously, though?
I've done, like, niacinamide.
Sunscreen.
I put sunscreen
Every day.
all the fucking time.
And don't forget to do your neck and your chest.
Yeah. Most people don't think to put retinoids on their hands.
Excuse me, back your hands.
Yeah, the hands and like the neck. Most people don't bring it down to the negligee.
Sometimes negligee.
That's what it's
called. God, it's your neck.
It's this is the negligee.
It's your chest.
It's a concise thing. This is a negligee. Neck.
No. This is your neck, chest, chesticles.
Chesticles.
I don't know why I would always call
Park today.
No, but you know what?
Wait. South Park? What?
I was watching because you said chesticles. I was watching South Park, and then there was this thing where like Carmen was so sure that leprechauns exist, and then Kyle was like, "No, they don't." And Carmen was like, "I'm gonna show you that they exist, and once they do, you sign a contract where you have to lick my balls." And the whole episode was like Kyle was being taken away because some like terrorists happened, so they were like, taken by the government or whatever. And Carmen's like after him having this spiritual thing, and he's like, "No, Kyle has to lick my balls." And I was just like thinking,
Has to lick my balls.
I was just
How about you? Suck my balls. Kyle! Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson. Would you like to suck my balls? Truth or myths that you know about the beauty industry?
I have more of like, but why? Like,
Okay,
why?
Like what?
It's just, it has to do, for me, it's like with Kim Kardashian, like now she's skinny. All of a sudden, are we normalizing being fucking skinny now? Even though my whole fucking life.
That. The fact that you just have the money to just completely change your body to what's trendy now.
That's what makes me upset because, and I'm guilty of like, before trying to like take extra protein to gain weight, to like have like a proportionate body weight or whatever, and it's fucking hard to. Everyone's always like, "Well, eat more," and I'm like, I get constipated, okay? Yeah. Like I fucking can't.
Here's the thing: if I had the money to like change my body on a dime, do you think I wouldn't have big giant boobs right now? Come on now.
But that's what's funny.
They're mosquito bites.
But they're beautiful. No, they're beautiful. But that's
like
the thing.
a little boy.
Don't
lie to me.
No, but that's the thing. That's funny enough. I feel like if I came across more money, whatever, I feel like I'd rather spend it more on like my clothing and like accessorize and learn more about fashion and how to dress my body type and my skincare.
You know what I will say right now is your body is not
my
a trend.
body, my choice. No, I'm just kidding.
Your body is not a trend.
Politics. I'm sorry.
It's not. But
your body is not a trend.
But it's like, how do we get that bug out of our head of not trying to either be on trend or compete or compare ourselves?
Because here's the thing about society is that society and the beauty industry is especially guilty of this, is that they all want to look some way, because if you don't fit in, everyone's terrified of
their vanity.
No, everyone is terrified of being original, because people who aren't fitting into society, people who are deemed weird or quirky or whatever, they're seen as like outcasted, or they're like, oh, they're weird, people might, talk some shit. But the thing is it takes so much strength and empowerment to just truly be who you are. And like, you can take, if you want to take place in a clothing trend, go right ahead. But your body is cold. No, clothing trend. Go ahead. Because here's the thing, is that if you like it, but the thing, and it's okay to do that, but the thing is that you just need to do what makes you happy. But your body is not a trend, and it stresses me out.
You're good.
Mm-hmm. Your body is made to, carry you and do all these things, and when these...
It's like,
no, because it stresses me out, because here's the thing, is that as someone who used to be plus sized, and like someone who like worked really hard, and like it wasn't always the best way to lose weight, but like once I did, and it's just like, it's scary to see, people try to do flip-flop now, where all of a sudden we're like, okay, body positivity, body inclusivity, and now all of a sudden like we're slowly going back to this like skinny, like what happened in like the 90s and early 2000s.
It was like the heroin model or something.
Yeah. No, it's scary, and it's just like that. Body sizes are not a trend. They never have been, and they never should be.
You know what I hate? Sorry.
Go ahead. Oh no, I was just gonna say, I hate how I'm like unconsciously too and consciously that I'm trying to fight is like, I'm a prisoner to this shit. I'm a prisoner that I'm trying to either like educate myself, but I kind of fall in that trap. I'm like, fuck. You know
what I hate the most? I love you, Dad, so much. But whenever I go over to his house, he's like, "Oh, you're so skinny," and
my family does the same thing.
I don't eat because you say that. Like, fuck off. Like, it's so annoying.
My family does the same thing.
And when I was in my relationship, obviously you gain that like relationship weight. You know? Okay, not everybody. But I was in the fucking South for a hot minute. There's a lot of biscuits over there. So
biscuits,
they're so
gravy.
Good. But no, just like biscuits. Anyways.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
But and it wasn't like a lot, but it was just like once I lost that relationship weight, but I was like, oh wow, you finally lost that weight, and I was like,
no, listen,
my sister too.
No, it sucks. I only when I lost all the weight, that was when I started getting comments from my family. Same with my sister. It's the minute that you start, there is no winning when it comes to people's perception of you and your body. You need to be comfortable in your own skin, and that's the thing that pisses me off. I think about the beauty industry is because it either goes one way or the other. Mm-hmm. It's either like you need to be one way or embrace yourself completely. And thankfully, we've seen a lot more inclusivity and we've seen a lot more forward steps. But it's just like, I'm worried that things are gonna go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and I don't know, and I just.
You mean 1 step forward, 2 steps back? Because you still got a step forward, technically.
Not. And I mean, either way, you're stepping. Either way, you're stepping forward and you're stepping back. Either way, but it's just like we've come leaps and bounds since like say like the early 2000s. Because I know, growing up for me, because I mean I was like skinny as a kid, and then because I would just eat literally like all of the shit. It was so bad. Like I was working out a lot, but I was really bulky because I was eating so much when I was in like martial arts and stuff. So I just wasn't losing anything. I was like I was bulky, and I and I was like really insecure for such a long time. And then it's just like the minute that you lose it, and you're like, oh my god, like, and seeing all these like really skinny like people, like I'm looking at like the entire thing of like, for example, like even like iCarly, Victorious, like Disney Channel, like all of these girls were so skinny. All of them were so skinny. Taylor Swift made a really, really good comment about that, where she's just like, you can't win or you lose because, I was watching her documentary, Miss Americana, and she was like, if I'm not a 00, like I'm a size like 4 or 6 now, and it.
You know what's crazy though is looking at characters in old Disney shows and whatever kids shows that we thought were fat. Harper. from Wizards. That's the only one that comes to my mind right now. But like
That
lady was not fat.
No,
what
she's
the
a normal
fuck
body
were
type.
we thinking?
No, and it's so sad to think, and it's just like even like the modeling industry is one of like the slowest moving industries now when it comes to that, and it's slow, but it's like if you're still not a size like 0 to 4, you're considered a plus size model, and that's kind of the shitty thing about it.
Damn.
And as someone who's actively in the modeling industry, it's but I don't know. That's the beauty industry. What are your guys' honest opinion about the beauty industry? Because in my honest opinion, I think the beauty industry has it's one of the biggest influencers in the world, beauty industry in and of itself. And, they have a number of people influencing things, showing products, doing whatever, but they need to be aware, and I feel like they're completely aware, though, of how much insecurity they are causing. And if we just as a society kind of were like, embrace, embrace getting older, embrace, being ourselves, like not like you can follow trends if you want, but like trends are fleeting. I still have my Fila's from like 2020 when I was a trend, but I wear them all the time because I love them and I think they're cute. And people are like, "Oh, that's so 2020 now." I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. They're so good shoes. I'm still gonna fucking wear my shoes.
And it's like people think, I don't know.
I think that the whole like I remember you saying like something about like outcasts and like how you want to fit into the society is who do you think starts those trends? Who's the first
celebrities?
Kim Kardashian.
I'm trying to make a point. Shut the fuck up.
That's one.
Who do you think takes that first step in trying something different? Yeah, celebrities, but sometimes it's a random person on TikTok, and then everybody follows that person on TikTok. It's like there should be no shame and no
it's I don't know if I can find the word you're looking for, but I feel like maybe something that ties into this. It's weird because it's almost like there's some things that you find trendy that you find inspiring and you decide to make, life changes, which is all cool, all good, but I feel like it's a slippery slope if you've seen Pink Panther. So it's a slippery slope to get obsessed with that and just always want to be like tweaking yourself and seeing like it's never enough because that's interesting. I feel like celebrities are a big reason and brands are a big reason of like changing the beauty standards, but it's also us that like
slip
encourage
into it.
And or we get obsessed with it, or
because we're always chasing something, we're always trying to be like everybody else, but it's more so just like you just gotta find what works for you. Like I feel like it's only now that I'm really stepping into what my true aesthetic is, and it's like before I wore like a whole bunch of like colors, and like I had a peace sign phase. I had like I did in like the 4th grade. It was great. Everything was peace signs. It was
cute.
iconic actually. Cute. But then like I had like a boho phase. I had a whole bunch of things, but it's now that I'm kind of like really stepping into my true aesthetic, which I consider is like very classy, very European, like very French aesthetic. I would say New York French aesthetic is I would consider with in the summer occasional Cali girl because West Coast Best Coast, but. It's like I'm only 22, but it's just like now finding my own aesthetic, and like people are still striving for that. You gotta do what makes you happy.
You know what I hate the most? I feel like I start all my sentences either with "you know what I hate the most" or "you know what's funny" all the time, and I need to stop.
And you know what I respond with?
So one thing that really hurts me personally when I do try something different. For example, I have this one earring that's a sword. Oh. And it has a diamond little droplet that looks like blood off the end of it.
So cute.
It's super cheap. I got it off like Shein or something. But I was like, oh my god, this is so cute to like style with something. And it looks like one of those gauges. So it's like whatever that goes through your ear. And I just wore it one night just with like a very like casual grungy looking outfit to dinner with my mom. And she's like, what the fuck is in your ear? And I'm like, it's not yours, Mom. Why are you so mad right now? Like, am I offending you with this sword?
Sword in my ear?
Stop.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to be that original person I so badly want to be because I have my own hater, who is unfortunately my mother. Mom, I love you.
I thought you were about to say yourself.
I love myself too. But you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like even small stuff like that. It discourages me from trying new things in the future. Obviously, I don't give a fuck, so I will. And like I know better, but other people might not know better. Yeah. But been through so much hate in my life with, you know, even when I was younger, just trying new things. I remember the first time I filled in my brows. Granted, it was terrible, and I only had orange brows, like, and I was blonde back then, not a redhead. But I had orange brows, and I remember this one dude, I won't name drop you, but if you know who you are, fuck you. He was like, oh my god, like, why are your brows so fucking orange? And I was like, sir, why are you being so mean? Like, the fuck? The amount of times I got bullied in fucking school, wow. Well, I am who I am today because of it.
Well,
so thank you,
I am.
fan behavior. Like, thank you. Yeah.
So, opinion on
the
beauty industry as a whole.
Fuck. Okay. What's my take on this is I can see when something is aesthetically pleasing, like a really cute eye look, hairdo, whatever, right?
I gleated everywhere. I did not do it on you. No, I didn't.
I don't know. I was talking to the camera. Oh,
fucking Gemini. Overdramatic.
But okay, I can see when something is pleasing to the eye, right? But it's weird because I'm still in this phase of like, I know it's a broken record, but like, who am I? Who do I represent? What is my style? What do I like? What? Who is that girl I see? Yes. And so I feel like the beauty industry, whatever, everything is so still open for me. I try to go and judge it based off of my moral compass, and it's like, okay, yes, this is cute, but is it actually hindering more than making me feel good because it's like a trend, or do I genuinely feel good and like sexy and like, okay, I like this, you know? It's always something I play around with, you know?
I feel like for me, I always take the beauty industry as a whole with a grain of salt. Like, I will pick up a palette and be like, oh my god, this is cute, and like, it's like a Wakanda Forever palette, and like, all stuff, whatever, and oh, cute, whatever. And then I pick up this one. It's like suicidal awareness. I'm like, oh my god, do I have to buy it now? Like, fuck, like I know,
buy it.
But like, I don't know, just like even like negative messages, like with like a scandal with a certain makeup brand and stuff. I don't buy from them anymore because what they do is, you know. But it's like, I gotta take a step back and realize, like, hey, this is literally just makeup. We are on a ball of rock in the middle of space.
Orbiting.
What is space? Orbiting.
Ancient Apocalypse. Watch it if you haven't.
Like it.
Giant star.
At the end of the day, all I think about is like, where is my money going to? Like, is it going towards, you know, or like, you know what I mean, like a bad brand, or like, you know, just a brand, or
an ethical brand, or brand. Speaking of bands.
But you know what I mean, like, not to go on a whole tangent.
Taking the beauty industry with a grain of salt, I feel like, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it can do so many good things. Because like I said earlier in this episode, it brings so much creativity.
I agree.
Like, I've seen the things that Hannah can do with her makeup, and like the things that like she can do on us. And it amazes me every single time. She did the most amazing Halloween costume. She was Pinhead. She spent like 4 hours on that makeup, and she looked phenomenal. This is a picture of it right here. This is a picture of it right here. Here's a picture of it.
She won a contest of the best costume.
It turned out amazing, but it's just like, there's so much creativity, and like, you know, that's why like she's an artist in that way. It's like she creates on people's faces.
I paint your face.
You do. You can make me have a whole new face.
Exactly. We should, you know what we should do? It'd be so cool. Like, we should, like, experiment more with, like, body paint. And, like, have you seen those things?
I've always wanted to do
where they, like,
body
paint on, like, pants or whatever. And
okay, not that.
We should do that!
I want you to paint my back.
Okay.
You should, like, paint my back, but just don't draw a dick on it.
Can you, like, draw, like, a realistic, like, crop top or something? And then, like, or, like, something?
Titty.
Okay. We can, like, cover titty. Or
but anyway,
we get the point. Titty.
But it's...
You want
it can do so much more good than harm if the right steps are taken.
Before we get into more depressing things, can I like describe the whole Pinhead makeup thingy?
Yeah.
I feel like it's such an interesting story, especially for me. It was such a huge learning curve, first of all. With makeup, if you're starting out with makeup, if you're a level whatever with makeup, if you're an expert at makeup, you're always learning. Always be open-minded to learning new things, just like with trends and techniques and all stuff, whatever. Like, you're always going to be learning new things. And unfortunately, this was a fucking curveball for me because first of all, when I looked up the actual makeup that they did in the movie, I was like, oh, Mama's not doing that. Like, that's a whole prosthetic on someone's head, and it's like molded and all that stuff, whatever. I don't got the money for that either. But then I was
Not
like,
yet.
yes,
Not yet.
Yes. But then I looked up, other people's interpretations of it, like literally 5 different people, because everybody has a different view on how they do it and their techniques and all that stuff, whatever. So long story short, people can, have different interpretations, have different techniques, all that stuff, whatever. And I watched like 5, 6 different people. And I learned, for me personally, I have to try it multiple times before I actually do the day of makeup. And so I did it 3 times before I actually did the day of makeup. And each time, obviously it got, progressively better. But I look back at the first time I tried it and I was like, the fuck was I doing? Like,
and that's on growth.
And that's on growth, because it just shows myself that, stop.
We're not saying nothing.
It's so cute.
And that's on growth.
No, but the whole growth thing, all that stuff, whatever. Thank you. It's also just like, don't give up at the same time, because honestly, I was like, what the fuck do I stick in my face? Do I actually use nails? I was this close to actually using nails. So, what?
It's okay. You say your butt and then I say my butt. But
okay. But at the same time, it's that creative aspect of being in the creative field and being like, oh, I can use this or this or this, or I can, not use nails because I'm going to be in a public place where it's very crowded and I might stab someone's eye out.
At a nightclub specifically.
And it just, honestly, I look back at it sometimes, and obviously that was the most recent work I've done that was that big of a project, and I'm just like, wow, that was really good. The fucking lines on my face, straight.
It was like so good. It was so good, guys. Like, it's not...
It was really cool. It was really cool. Can I just, draw attention to something really quick that you said? You were mentioning how, you did it a couple times, and I want to highlight the fact that it's like, wow, so you still wanted to do this, makeup, but you didn't let each time discourage you. Yeah, you got upset with yourself and everything, but it was more like, I'm doing this because it's fun, and I just want to understand and get the hang of it. And I like that process, and I forget about that a lot personally, so that's actually really good to hear. So, you just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm going to be honest, sometimes when I do just, regular makeup, like today's makeup, I did that, doggy eyeliner. Sorry.
Dog eyeliner.
Doggy style eyeliner. Where it's, more down here than, up here, because I have hooded eyes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is fun. It's not just, oh, I need to look pretty. It's, no.
Experimentation.
This is fun. Even if I don't look the best. I don't...
You're just playing around with whatever.
Yeah. Fuck it.
It's trying what works for you. The entire beauty industry is trial and error and finding what works for you and not letting it destroy you on the inside.
Not taking it serious either, and everyone's opinions will either be like, thank you, or fuck off, I'm going to still do my thing. Which should still,
I'm also very careful, especially with influencers in a whole. I'm very careful who I watch. Hold on.
Nice.
It's the beer, I'm sorry. Who I watch and who I absorb information from. There are some people that I've had to block for myself on TikTok where it's like, I love your makeup, but the message you're spreading when you're talking about makeup and your overall message with it, I don't fuck with. So, I block you. And there's
not
a pretty
really be watching that.
There's a pretty big one in there that I don't like anymore. Not because of this person's recent thing with the whole, but I don't, and it's not because I don't dislike this person and hate them. It's just because I just don't want to see their stuff anymore, and that's totally fine. So,
yeah, I honestly think, we always gotta have a moral. I was gonna be like, we always gotta have a moral.
Love yourself.
But
I'm a drug.
Love
yourself. Love yourself.
But you're good. It's
is your table clean?
I cleaned it with that disinfecting thing. Plus, I'm hardly even here.
That's right. Sorry, go on.
Anyway, so moral of the story: the beauty industry serves rusty spoon.
Have you guys seen that before on YouTube?
the beauty industry serves, you know, it can be an advantage, disadvantage. It has pros and its cons. Take it as you will. I think that's the biggest thing. Take it as you will. Find what works for you. Don't think that you have to fit into any type of mold. And your body, I cannot stress this enough, your body is not a trend. Your body is made to help you.
I'm too tall for those molds.
Yes. So thank you guys for coming to this week's episode of
Chia.
A Girl's Guide
To Chaos.
Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of A Girl's Guide to Chaos.